right, hello, Sooner Nation. So we didn't do a pregame. Believe it or not, people don't understand this, but me and Goss sometimes get really busy. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I was telling my wife this. I don't know how Steve does it because I hear about superintendents and athletic directors. Because you're both, aren't you? You're
I'm
athletic director.
principal and athletic director.
Principal and athletic.
Yeah.
Well, same thing. So
Yeah.
to me, it's like principal, superintendent. Crap, they're about the same. So I'm like, especially with football season starting, I'm like, I don't really know how he has time to do anything. But
yeah, it's a lot. So, but obviously, if there would have been a miss, the only thing bad that I really have to say is I did take the time to watch every play of the Michigan versus New Mexico game because I'm like, okay, I'm going to be prepped for the preview pod. And so I had lots of takes, and all of them were great, and they were 100% right. So, sorry you missed that, guys, but my wife, we were driving back this morning from Norman, and she was like, well, guess you don't have to do a preview pod anymore since they won. I know how superstitious you are. I'm like, don't think that's stopping us, Aaron. But anyway, if we do lose to Temple after we do a preview pod, that will be the end of all preview pods. Yes, without a doubt.
Are you guys going to Philadelphia? I know that Aaron.
No, it was funny. My wife actually was kind of like hinting around on it today of like, we could go. It's 11 o'clock kickoff, then the Phillies play that evening. We could just go do both of it. And I was like, yeah, and if you find a money tree in the backyard for us to fly up there and stay, then we certainly will. But no, we will not be making the trip. But my wife did, like Jeremy said, she lived in Philadelphia before we were married. She's a Phillies fan. So, but we will not be making the trek unless someone wants to sponsor Goss on the road. And
I think you've got enough sponsorship from last year. Yes, me.
Yeah.
But... No, but man, what a game! It to me felt like the whole game, like we should have been up like 2 or 3 touchdowns. Like we dominated the game that much. So
it did. It's Jarrett and Darren were right across the aisle from me, and I kept saying that the touchdown we got right before half, we just needed that so bad because we outplayed them way more than to just be up one score. Before we kind of get into all the game stuff, just a few thoughts from before the game. One, I sent out in the group text, I got to shake Coach Switzer's hand before the game going in. So I was like, look, I shook hands with Switzer. There's 100% chance we're winning this game. So King, if you're listening out there, we'll meet again going in gate 12. No, but
obviously he knew you from the pod. Is what
yes, he did. He's like, hey, Soonercast guy. Yeah, and
love the podcast.
Yes, love it. It was him and Kel Gundy, and I think it was Jamil Holloway too. All big fans. I did not have the nerve to ask Kel. Yeah, I did not have the nerve to ask Kel about his brother and the goings on in Stillwater. So, moment of silence for all of our Poke friends out there, because woof, that was rough, buddy. But pregame, something I really noticed is that was the earliest arriving OU crowd I could ever remember. Jeremy knows I like to get them everything early, but I like being in the stadium early. And I was in well early, and the student section was full when I got in. So that tells you anything. If the student section is full when Goss gets into the stadium, then it's a big game. And I would say at the 40-minute mark, when the march, the arm-in-arm march thing, the walk, whatever you want to call it, happened, that place was full. And that's not something that happens very often. So it was.
Have they released the capacity? I know they sold standing room only tickets.
They did. It was 87. It was like, and my number's maybe a little bit off, but we looked this up last night at the game. The announce was like 87,319, and the all-time record was the Ohio State game from a few years ago, and it was like 87,818. So it was within 500 people of the biggest game ever. One thing I will say is I think everyone around here, you got to make a choice. Are you a Texas guy? Or are you an Oklahoma guy? And as an outsider, I've always been more pro Michigan than pro Ohio State. Just kind of liked what I saw. Maybe it's because they're both Jordan schools. Maybe it's because I thought the Fab Five was cool. I don't know. But I've always kind of liked Michigan as opposed to Ohio State. When it comes to dealing with the fan bases, it's not close. Every Michigan fan I met yesterday was very happy to be there. They were nice. They were complimentary in Norman. They were complimentary at the stadium. Said look, we hope we win, but you guys have been great. Come up to Ann Arbor next year. Really, really classy people to deal with. That was not my experience when Ohio State fans came. Honestly, they were arrogant jerks, and I'm glad Baker is planted his flag there. And but going forward, I root for Michigan, not just for what it does for our schedule, but these are legitimately nice people. They were good fans. So that was nice to see. We had a flyover before. Everyone was kind of curious. I think everyone was wanting the Danger Dorito, wanting the stealth bomber to come over. We did have a fighter jet come over. So I guess it wasn't quite a big enough game for that. Thought the pregame, I thought the scene setter was marvelous. I know you guys see that too, Jeremy, when it came out. Thought it was a really good scene setter. Thought the pregame video with Gerald McCoy, which I wasn't a huge fan of the first week, thought this one was better. We do have Coach Switzer in an actual throne at the end of it, and he was there multiple times on the video board. So I thought that was pretty good to see the king on a throne. But just a few sights and sounds. Really positive things at the North Oval on the tailgate. Think that went over really well. Information I got said that week 1 there were 87 tailgates purchased, tailgate, whatever you want to call that, purchase. And this week there was close to 450. So that's a pretty big growth. There, even on Lindsay Street, there was still quite a few people there. So really, really good scene. Was not unable to go to game day. Allie had a junior high softball game. So I did not get to go up for game day. But all in all, just sights and sounds wise, I think everything was immaculate. People did good striping the stadium. Everyone I've talked to said it looked good on TV. So all good things. I did get to see Peter Herbstreit earlier this week. I was staying at the Omni
Did you
Hotel.
badmouth him? I've heard people badmouthing him. Why are you bringing that dog everywhere? Have you seen how cute that dog is? Why would you ever talk crap about that?
I'm not going to lie. I was at the Omni Hotel for a school board association meeting, and I'm just getting off the elevator, and I'm like, and it's most of them why is this giant dog walking there? And this lady's walking this dog. I'm like, and this knows I watch too much football. I'm like, I think that was Peter Herbstreit. You think you can identify a dog. So I'm like, I wonder if they're staying here. And so then pregame yesterday, I'm watching the exact same lady was walking Peter around the field with Kirk that I saw at the Omni. So I did meet Peter. He says the Sooners are rough. That was my only joke of the day. But
you should have got his autograph.
Yeah, exactly. It would be awesome. But yeah. But anyway, I'm going into dad jokes here, Jeremy. So over to you, kind of before.
I'll say this is getting horrible. I just threw in a couple of dad jokes and made a stupid dog reference. No, but one thing that I will say, I've heard nothing but good things about the atmosphere. I've heard nothing but good things about the aura it had the aura of a big game. And you know what? We went out there and we won a big game, and it seems like we fall flat on our face when we get in those situations. And that's why we have trouble with keeping consistency with keeping this type of tailgating scene. Everybody's we got to be SEC ready. Very true. But that said, is every time we come to a big game, our hearts are broken. So I was very glad to see us play the way we did with that type of atmosphere and that type of this game day being there. It just seems like in the Venables era, we haven't answered that when we've had the game day. Right. Now the question
with the exception of the Texas game,
but also
Texas game is second year. And that's it. And then we turn around and lose to Kansas the next week.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The question is how do we respond with being a good football team? Because we have the makings of being a good football team. So how do we respond? Do we go and lay an egg against Temple? Temple is 2-0. It's not like we're going like playing the worst team like San Jose State did, and people are raving about Arch Manning right now, how good he looked against San Jose State. So I think they still have issues. I really do. And very, very curious to see what he will – and we've got time, but very curious to see what Arch Manning's going to do against that OU defense, because we just saw what he did to Underwood. All just honesty, like I think by the time Underwood gets to be where Arch Manning is as a junior, I think he's going to be 20 times better.
Oh, I mean, like, Manning. I think if you ask any NFL GM, whatever, what lottery ticket would you rather buy, Arch Manning or Bryce Underwood?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a no-brainer. I didn't leave this game thinking Bryce Underwood was bad. I questioned some of Michigan's play calling. I didn't think it was tremendous. I don't think Michigan's great at receiver. Now, some of that is, I think Cortland Guillory is a star. I just really do. I could not.
Well, let's jump in. Let's jump into this. Let's start with you, since we've talked enough like about atmosphere and dad jokes. Let's start off with you. What'd you see? Like, who stood out to you on the offensive side of the ball? I'll start with you, and then I'll chime in.
Okay. Offensively, I saw on Twitter that BV gave the game ball to Bill Bedenbaugh and the entire offensive line. Mm-hmm. Like everybody else there, I spent time trying to watch Fasusi. And to me, the guy looks like just an absolute star. The fact that we were able to, that final drive that we had, which ended in a field goal make, to take the time off of that drive that we did, those are the things that we have not been able to do. We're not even talking, this is like pre-Lincoln Riley, okay? I mean, this is just one of those things of, we just haven't seen that. To be able to dominate the line of scrimmage and to take the time that we did and to mix in the run and the short passing game, I thought that was just awesome. But to me, if I'm going to pick one person on the line, I'm probably going to pick Fasusi. I think Kanik continues to show that he is a true weapon. That's the best tight end weapon that we've had. And I'm going to give a shout out to Deion Burks, because he had a lot of targets. He made some big plays. And so those are three for me that are, I mean, we could always say John Mateer every week. But
let's say, just to save time for our pod, like we'll basically John Mateer will always stand out every game. So we don't even have to say his name anymore. So we'll just assume that he is on there. So I agree with everything. Offensive line, I think we found our group. And it was kind of what I expected. Like, everybody freaked out against Illinois State, and then, oh my God, we're playing all these new starters and a freshman, and it's like, oh, okay, well, what do you know? Playing the best guys does work. But really, Kanik, I think I sent a deal out to our friend group: 69 yards receiving, 90 yards the week before. He's changed the tight end position for us. And one thing that I liked, that touchdown run that Mateer had to make it 21-7, Kanik was the lead blocker on that, and he put what's his name?
I thought his blocking was a little better this week for sure.
Well, and wasn't that the fear? It's like, he might be able to catch the ball, but he can't block. But I mean, and really, guys, we just did everything a little bit better than what. I mean, Satanga misses that catch that would have got us the first down, comes back, makes the big catch on the sideline. Like, yes, did he make a mistake punt return? He did. But that said, I like that he didn't keep his head down on it.
Wouldn't you say Satanga probably made, to me, probably the most underrated play of the day was, it should have been an interception. That Mateer was going to throw. A ball gets tipped up. It's going to get picked. And Satanga comes playing like a defensive back and knocks the ball away. And otherwise, Michigan's going to have the ball there around midfield with a chance to either, I think, tie the game or take the lead. And, that was just a huge, huge heady play that, people have asked, why isn't Elijah Thomas playing? Why isn't some of the younger people? And I'm not saying Elijah Thomas couldn't have done that. But the thing is, played a lot of football. So he was able to go and do something smart like that. So sorry, Jeremy, I mean, cut you off.
No, but also too, like
that point.
he about fumbled or muffed the punt earlier.
Before.
Yeah, and like the punt before, it's, you know what? He made that mistake. I don't see him making that mistake again. That was a big enough mistake where that's going to be glowing to him. I think he's a smart enough football player. But isn't it kind of nice? Like, we did not play a clean football game.
Not at all.
Dominated. And what have we always said about this offense? You don't have to be world beaters. You give us what has always been my magic number, 24. Yeah. Get us to 24, we win a football game 90% of the time. It just seems like, and watching that defense, I can almost say 21 and be comfortable just because that is a top 5 defense. And I don't think I'm overreacting. I think everybody that watched that defense last night knows that we lost 2 solid starters that gave us a lot of leadership, but we replaced them with the right guys. Marvin Jones Jr., Marvin Jones.
I thought he flashed yesterday for sure.
And then Kendall Daniels. I mean, look at that guy. But we'll get to the defense just a little bit, but I'll try to jump to that ahead of that. But I told Goss before this, I said, when we start talking about the defense, it'll probably be like 40 minutes on the defense. But really, that offense is what you have to have with a defense like that. Offense that chews clock. One thing about Lincoln, right? Yeah. And
how often have we talked about complimentary football, Jeremy?
Well, and that's what I was about to say. Is Lincoln Riley's offense? Did he score a lot of points? He did. But how much was that defense on the football field when that happened?
Yeah.
So I love the long drives because it keeps your defense off the field and chews clock off. And then next thing you know, we got a fresh defense going out there. So, all right, let's move on. Yeah, and
I've got a couple more offensive thoughts.
Okay, sorry, man.
No, you're good. One, I couldn't feel better about Ben Arbuckle than I feel today. I thought he called just a magnificent game and being able to adjust to burn the clock right there. I mean, just absolute great hire. I really hope we can overpay to keep him from taking a group of 5 job or, something after this. And hopefully it's after BV has won his 3rd straight national championship that he can go and take.
Don't you feel like he's changed the whole, not only the offense, but the culture of what our
one thing that was interesting, I should have mentioned this when I was talking about sights and sounds to begin with, but amazing recruiting weekend. How deep it was of recruits in the end zone before the game was absolutely, absolutely insane. But that being said, the other thought that I was going to have, and this will be my only Mateer thought, and then we can go over to the defense. I think John Mateer is just going to throw some interceptions sometimes, and that's just something you're going to have to live with. That's going to be his wart, so to speak, because he is Mayfield-esque in the fact of he likes to work the ball down the field, and he does put some faith in his players to make plays, which in the end is how winning gets done. But he's not going to be that overly conservative where he only just throws little checkdowns. Because to me, and I said this to the Michigan guy who was sitting across the aisle, Michigan was so conservative not wanting to throw an interception sometimes that it just made them easier to defend. And so I'll let you start on defense, Jeremy. Just kind of tell me who stood out for you defensively.
Kendall Daniels.
What a hit. I mean, golly, that was unbelievable.
You want to talk about a fan base having a bad day. OSU plays like that. And then one of their old linebackers, who they said last year has given up and quit, plays like that. I mean, thank you, OSU, for giving us that man, because he's a mind reader. You watch him, he reads this. If you watch him on TV, if you just zone in on Kendall Daniels and watch him, that dude, the way he reads every play is ungodly. Spears Jennings getting back in the starting lineup. Cortland Gilroy. Is it Gilroy?
Guillory.
Yeah, that's right. But that dude has answered every question. I mean, Gentry goes down. And he doesn't knock down every pass, but the dude is competitive on everything. And then everybody on the defensive line.
Awesome.
I mean, crazy. And everybody on the defensive line, I mean, I could talk about those guys forever. And then Kobe McKenzie, I was listening to the Scoop guys on their Lexus post game. I think Josh McCuistion gave Kobe McKenzie like a 95, which is one of the highest grades that he's ever given a linebacker.
Yeah.
Kobe McKenzie is very quietly playing some good football. And how many times did we talk about Kobe McKenzie? Before the season, how many times we talked about Kobe? Yeah. Kobe McKenzie was always there. He's no longer Kenzie Hansen's fiance. I think he's playing it for a name on his out there. But defense, I couldn't be more impressed. That's what a Brent Venables defense looks like. And I told my wife that last night when we were watching. I said, when you watch that defense, that's what we all expected when we hired Brent Venables as our head coach. So I don't know. I'm sure you got probably the same as what I think.
Yeah,
I could go on forever. So
I just thought, first off, I'll eat crow when it's time to eat crow. Owen Heineke, hats off. Great game.
Yeah, I didn't even mention Owen Heineke.
The guy just absolutely flies around. He is undersized, but he didn't get bullied in the Michigan games. Matter of fact, dude was in the backfield. Thought that was by far the best game I've ever seen him play. Thought it was just interesting. Guillory never left the field, played all 59 snaps defensively.
Mm-hmm.
Thought that was something interesting. Neither did Peyton Bowen. He played all 59. Spears Jennings plays 56. Kendall Daniels plays 50. And it's really neat to see. One thing that you can tell is a little different with BV back fully in charge of the defense again is we're rotating at places that he feels comfortable rotating. Like we're deep on the defensive line. And I think it's important to rotate your defensive line. And I do even feel like people that we don't – David Stone was great yesterday, absolutely great. Jaden Jackson is an all-SEC kind of guy. But here's the deal. I'm not sure how much accolades any of those guys are going to get because even with R. Mason, you're just not going to play that many snaps because of how good everybody is there. And that's a good problem to have. But really, really thought that was really, really good. Thought it was, did hear on Gentry that he was wanting to come back into the game. So I don't think that's going to be like a long-term injury thing. But Michigan never adjusted the game plan and just kind of kept throwing at Guillory. So I didn't really get to see much of Devin Jordan being tested over there. But just super impressive defensively. The only thing bad was the one bust. And, just watching that live, it kind of looked like to me, Spears Jennings maybe was supposed to have that.
I think I don't know who was on that corner side.
People say Peyton Bowen.
Who was playing corner on that side? Apparently he got sucked up is what it looked like.
But it was,
Jake said. So.
It was one of those things that Michigan did a good job there of shifting around, being in a different heavy set, and kind of out schemed us there. And I do think that back Scott has got some speed. The former Alabama guy Haynes. So you take that away, Jeremy. I think they average 2.3 yards a rush. If you take that rush away, and it just makes you really, really excited because if you can stop the run, you can win football games. And we can stop the run, so we can win football games. And, I don't know how long-term we can do this of BV being a DC and the head coach, but, thank God for West Virginia and thank God that, I won't even mention his name left because it's not even worth back alley mentioning that. But
You hear my
I
my
know
dogs
his name's
all
Sack Alley, Jeremy's dog. I appreciate that.
No, my dogs were saying that. That's what they were complaining about down there.
But just really, really happy. Thought it was neat too to see after the game, just the joy that the players had for BV. I do think they love the guy and they want positive things to happen for him too. Also, tradition wise, now that we're on kind of toward the end here, Ain't No Love in Oklahoma was the fourth quarter song.
Finally, everybody's been requesting that for how long?
I thought it was good. I mean, okay. I mean, to me, it kind of hit the right mark of it's new enough that youngish people like it. It's not loud or bad that old people wouldn't like it. To me, it was a pretty good mix. Did like the fact that they played How Do You Like Me Now right as soon as we won when the game was over. I think that would be a good Toby tribute. Like that could kind of be our New York, like the Yankees do. Every win, you get How Do You Like Me Now? Think that would be pretty cool. They tried a Beer for My Horses sing along, which kind of went over mid-ish. But the best thing that the in-game production people did was instead of Simba Cam, they went Burger Cam and showed Canic's dog up there. So I did think that was a nice touch. But to put a bow on the defense, just a great job. We did what Brent Venables is going to do to a freshman quarterback. We made him look uncomfortable. We did not get bullied up front. And with the exception of one long run, was able to maintain strength against the run. So just positive. Now, let's talk about the third part of the ball, which I do think we struggled. Special team thoughts, Jeremy.
I don't think we need to stay on this very long. I mean, it was the worst part of our game. I feel like we can clean it up. I mean, all of them are fixable situations. Looks like we changed punters. I heard that he is, I guess, has an injury. Punter didn't. I thought wasn't our issue, but
no, I thought that was the best part of the four parts.
Yeah, kicker missed the kick. I think it's just pressure and his first real field goal. So
I thought it was good.
I didn't look too much into it.
I thought the decision to go ahead and kick again there real late was the right one. There were a lot of people in stadium wanting us to go ahead and go for it, make them go 97 yards if you don't get it. But thing is, you make that field goal, drop 11, the game's over, which we did.
Yeah.
And I thought it was important for him to see one go through, even if it is a chip shot like that, because we're going to need that kicker to make some kicks. We're going to play some close ball games. So Tanga to me just like really wanted to make a play. It was a screw up out of aggression. And I don't know what the hell Ott was doing with that down there.
It's kind of snowballed a little bit there at the end, but like I said, I think
but
all of
to
them
me, Ott, I guess we ought to talk about this too, Jeremy, but I'm still not worried about Jaden Ott. That still looks to me like it's a guy who's not 100% healthy. I thought we did a good job of rotating. I mean, I honestly, whether it was DeMarco or if it was Arbuckle or who it was with the rotation at running back, I actually kind of agreed with it. I had some people come to me and say, why didn't Xavier Robinson play? Because you can't play 4 running backs, guys.
Yeah.
And right now, I think these other 3 guys give us things. I thought it was good for Javonte. I thought he did a good job blocking. Thought the runs he had were pretty clean. Liked when we went with the extra offensive lineman. We brought Fojay in and just ran it right up the gut. Thought he ran hard to go get that. But to me, all in all, if I was going to give this game a grade, I mean, I'm going to go. I mean, it's going to sound bad because it was a really big win, but I'm going to go B+ because I do think there's just some meat on the bone. I would understand an A, but I'm just going to go B+ because I just think there was some meat left on the bone here.
I do. I think, B+ is probably pretty accurate just because, like I said, we won by double digits and we didn't play our best game. I mean, I think, and looking at it, Auburn's, I think, maybe a little better than we anticipated. I'm not too worried about them, to be honest with you, but I think we got a pretty good game plan against Jackson Arnold still. He threw the ball all over the place against, I don't even know who they played. yesterday. But that said, it is we've got some tougher games. Mississippi State, SEC had a pretty good day yesterday, but Clemson struggled, and so I look at it as how good is LSU, and that's always going to be the narrative early on in the season is how good are these teams really, and I think that's where we need to just go into Temple next week. We just need to make sure that we take care of business, move on, and just keep stacking those wins. So because we definitely got a good enough football team, but no, I agree. It's B+, great game, good atmosphere. I really think Michigan's going to win a lot of football games this year. I think you're going to get better as the season goes on.
And we do need to root. We need to root for Michigan going forward. We do. We needed to beat Nebraska. No, that's not going to be hard for us to pick them to beat USC in a few weeks. We're all going to be for them there as well. But me and my quote unquote hatred of Jackson Arnold. Just to kind of pump the brakes on Jackson Arnold is now the world's greatest passer. Jeremy, do you know who Purdue's quarterback is?
I don't. No.
Okay. Ryan Brown. I didn't either. But who do you think threw for more yards against Ball State this season? Ryan Brown or Jackson Arnold?
I would assume Ryan Brown.
That's correct. He did. And so once again, it looked like Jackson did throw it a little bit better from what we could see. But before you get in there that this is great, Purdue beat Ball State 31-0 in week 1, and Auburn did take care of business against Ball State as well and beat them 42-3. But Ball State is the 85 Bears; they are not, and so we'll see in a couple of weeks. Don't really know. You're going to know more about Temple after Jeremy and I tell you a little more on Wednesday. I'll be honest, I haven't had a lot to look at for the Owls other than they are 2-0. They've scored quite a few points the last 2 weeks, but don't think their strength of schedule is that great. But again, great game against Michigan. And to me, one of the best things is it was great and the atmosphere was great, but it kind of felt like, hey, this is just kind of what we're supposed to do. It wasn't like this is out of the norm. This is who we are. We're Oklahoma, and we're a good football team. We're a national title contender. We're a playoff contender. That's who we are, and hopefully, we continue to show that.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Everything what you said, I just feel I want to see how we do going forward because in the Venables era, we haven't dealt good with success. So I think John Mateer is, if he keeps playing like this, he'll be on everybody's Heisman board. And I think they kind of understand that. They left him on the podium a little bit longer last night by himself. So I think they understand this is kind of his Heisman campaign and kind of going forward that he's going to be, as long as he keeps playing the way he has been. The only thing that worries me is running him that much is how can he stand up to that type of hitting.
He is such a heavily he's got big legs. He's got strong. I mean, and he does a good job of not taking just direct weird impacts. I mean, he's a guy you can tell has ran quite a bit in his life. He knows how to protect him a little bit. But to me, I don't want to see him running this week.
No, not at all. No, I would welcome Michael Hawkins playing some of the second half. But all right, guys, we'll get back on track next week for Temple. Get our pod recorded on Wednesday, hopefully. This week.
Hopefully, there's no late breaking.
Unless we lose, we talked about this. If me and Goss are very superstitious, if we happen to lose the Temple, there will no longer be a pregame pod.
No, we'll just go to postgame.
Postgame talk about.
Yes, exactly. We might start a call-in show. Like Al and Jim at that point. But we can just bring Darren on and.
Oh my God, no! But hey, Darren has been very upbeat though since he was very happy with the win. So
he did smile.
All right, guys. If you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Apple and Spotify. I got a lot of comments. Some of it was spam, but that said from our last one. But hey.
No, those bots are totally into us, Jeremy. They're big fans. They like me so much they asked for my credit card number and my social security number.
So I went ahead and gave my credit card number. I think that's
totally legit.
We should be good.
Totally legit. It's what happens when your podcast stars like Jeremy and I. But if you're not a bot and you want to reach out to us, soonercast@gmail.com. Have a great week, everybody. We'll see you Wednesday. Boomer.
Boomer Sooner.